Quit being a real American. Learn about something outside of your own fucking hometown. But he's from Ecuador. He didn't speak English. He came to New York. Holy shit, the whole Ellis Island deal and everything. Comes to New York. Comes to Florida, which is where we all live here. And he's worked his ass off. He was ranked number 9 in my class, which we went to different high schools. But we met in middle school, and that's why it feels really good to see someone like him and someone like you. And to hopefully see myself soon kind of jumping up in a little more status, because it's like, that's the American dream, is coming from nothing and becoming something. Donald Trump, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We only know these guys as the big multi-millionaires they are now, but Donald Trump was fucking dead broke at one point.
Right.
He got an inheritance and he tripled it in a year, and then he tripled that, and then he tripled that. Arnold Schwarzenegger, same thing, came to this country. He was an Austrian country boy who, used to walk down the street, skip school and walk down this main street in Graz, which is in Austria, and beg for money from people. He wasn't broke, he was like, I need money, and this is an easy way to make money.
Yeah.
He went from that to being a real estate mogul, the governor of California, and probably the most recognized movie star in the world, period. Mm-hmm. So when I see someone like you, who I know came from pretty much the same, kind of dirt poor lifestyle, and our family, well, his family, not mine so much, but your family has worked their way out of it, and then you're not squandering that, you're not wasting that, which is part of my message is what's your excuse? That whole question, people that come from easy lives are usually lazier. That's not to say everybody, but I've noticed that. Right. It's kind of a trend with people. When everything is handed to you, you don't understand why you need to appreciate it. We've ridden in cars all our lives. If we took one of those back in time, they would freak the fuck out at us. We would be superheroes. Yeah. You know what I mean? We are traveling in a metal box with wheels.
Yeah.
With a bomb strapped to the front, going 80 miles an hour. They would shit their pants if they had pants, depending on how far back we went.
Yeah.
But that's part of kind of my message is what's your excuse? It doesn't. It's a lot to do with the whole my heart thing, but it's a lot more about the whole. If you have a fucking body, you need to use it. Mm-hmm. Because you only got one of them, and some people, this is where the slight philosophical stuff comes in, the whole, I am because I say I am sort of thing. If you believe that, if you think that way, by that logic, your arm is just a tool that you've been given. You should have no attachment to your arm. Cut the bitch off. Okay, you don't have an arm now. The vessel you've been given doesn't have an arm. Mm-hmm. We don't think like that, though.
Right.
If I said cut off your fucking arm, what do you say?
I doubt that.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. So it says your body is appreciated, but you don't appreciate it every day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You make certain choices with food and sedentary lifestyle versus physical activity, that sort of thing. Every little aspect you do to yourself, but you don't really appreciate it until someone says, I'm going to have to cut off your fucking arm. Mm-hmm. Because you got gangrene in it or whatever. Then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, my arm. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you start to appreciate it. You don't appreciate what you have till it's gone. That sort of thing. So my point is, there's people that work hard and get somewhere.
Right.
And then there's people that sit around and bitching about how hard it is.
Right.
You're not one of those people. I'm not one of those people. Our friend Elvis is not one of those people. You know what I mean? Right. I mean, we both know people that are like that. We've all met them. This fucking people that are still like tweens, just running around crying about this, that, and the other. And
tweens?
Tweens, exactly. Yeah, there's still tweens in their fucking head, But my main point was, and it always has been, and always will be, is that I'm proud to have friends that I can be proud of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's I know some guys from high school that they're basically just pothead burnouts, and it's I don't want to associate with you. I don't judge anybody at all. I'm a libertarian. Fucking make all drugs legal. Bleach is legal. I'm not drinking it. If meth was legal, I still probably wouldn't smoke it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. You want to do that shit? we'll build you a colony. You just stay in there and just stay the fuck away from us productive people. But, like, you know, I'm sure you know a bunch of pothead burnouts, too.
Yeah.
We went to high school, period. We know some.
Yeah.
You know? So, we know these types of people, and I don't associate with them. And one of my friends, Tom, he's very, he's libertarian also, but I love him too because he comes from money, but he's still humble as shit. He says, I'm not rich. He says, my dad's rich. I'm not rich. And I love that idea that he understands that, you know? It's like, hey, I'm not rich. My father's rich. Mm-hmm. I'm not. That's his fucking money. Mm-hmm. I don't have any money. I'm just a college kid.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great mentality to have. And, you know, props to you, Mr. D, for teaching your kid that shit. But, you know, these pothead burnouts, a lot of them come from money. Some of them don't. I'll admit it, you know. Not all of them do. You know, sometimes they're just, what's the politically correct term now? Inner city kids.
Right.
So you know, but they're burnouts. I don't associate with those people. But Tom says he doesn't associate with those people because part of it's like you can't get much from them, which is, I think, true. I think there's something to learn from everybody. But these kinds of people, I find, don't really get you anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You are who your friends are, and if you're not the smartest person in the room, you need to find another fucking room to stand in. You know what I mean? And if you always think you're the smartest person in the room, then you're a psychopath. And that's a different story. So my point is, like, I don't hang out with those people, not because there's nothing to gain from them, but, you know, there's always some entertainment when hanging out with some potheads, because they can be very entertaining. But, like, there's nothing future to look forward to when you hang out with people like that.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true.
You know, so I kind of a little philosophical there in the idea between, like, you know, pick your friends wisely and stuff like that. And I guess my point to that little discussion tidbit is that this is why I'm friends with him, with Devereaux. Because it's like, I've known you half my life.
Right.
And in that span, I've seen you do nothing but grow. Why would I not want to be around this? It's motivation. It keeps me remembering that there's always more. And that's a good place to be. I'm one of those people that's never satisfied. You've seen me eat. And I'm like that in life too. Enough is never enough. More. I need more. And I think it comes from having so little when you're younger. You know what I mean?
Right.
And disclaimer, if you've watched this far in, I don't say any of this shit to try to put anybody down. Right. I don't say to discourage anybody. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty, nothing like that. If you come from a rich family, all I'm asking is that you just look at yourself honestly, because that's really hard for a lot of people. Most people are looking out, you know, what's going on Twitter, on Facebook, on all this stuff. But I'm not just blaming social media. They were like that in the olden days too, you know. What's it? The Jeffersons or whatever, the ones across the street, you know, that whole thing. And I don't mean the Jeffersons. I don't mean that Jeffersons. I mean like the grass is always greener shit. You know, people are always looking outside. They don't look in enough. So take a real look at yourself, an honest, hard look, and it can be hurtful sometimes. And the best question I always ask somebody if they ask for like actual like kind of mental advice from me, or I guess philosophical advice, is I tell them, stare at a mirror. How long can you look at that mirror? If you can't look yourself in the eyes, you've got a problem. Because that is the most literal translation of you don't like what you see.
Right.
So you turn away. And if you can't look in the fucking mirror for more than 30 seconds and just stare at your own face or into your own eyes, you've got some internalized issus. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Everybody knows my channel. I try not to get into the philosophical or emotional or spiritual side of things because it's I'm a man of science, but I heard a quote in a movie once, and it was, I'm a man of science, and this is Robert Duvall, so you know it's good. I'm a man of science, but if the chemo stops working, I'll try acupuncture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'll work.
So it's like, I'm a man of science. I believe in the physical activity. I believe in the science behind it. But the bottom line is, if you don't do it and work hard, you can forget all that keeping, you know, kyphosis at bay and keeping the hip flexors loose and keeping everything strong. You forget all that shit, you know? I'm rambling, man. You're going to have to say something or ask me a direct question or something, because I'll just keep going. You know me, I never shut up.
So I had a quick question.
It won't be quick with me answering.
What made you? Why did you? Because I know once the band thing was over or whatever.
Yeah.
What made you take the route of, okay, let me drop the music and let me focus solely on the fitness? I always remember you wanted to be a fitness personal trainer. You were always into that kind of stuff. What made you want to like say, okay, let me drop that? Well, maybe obviously because the band didn't work out. That's probably answered a question in itself. But what made you really want to just say, let me just do this 100% and ride it out?
I've always attributed it being in a band, like being in a relationship.
Right.
And the way you play music together is like the sex. And then everything else is just like everything else in a relationship, the communication, all that stuff. Our band, we had great sex.
Right.
When we played music, it was fucking, oh God, it was good. Like, we all just felt each other perfectly. In a non-sexual way. And slightly sexual at the same time, which is the great part. It tickled my cochlears. That's funny for two reasons. So, what actually made me, and you can look at the timestamps and the date stamps between my first video, was when I saw you guys release your first song from Questions.
Oh my.
When you guys did that, it was kind of like when you're in a relationship and the relationship's over, both parties go their separate ways,
Right.
and usually the woman ends up with another guy real quick because she's a fucking woman, and that's how it works. And the guy sits sulking, and he usually starts working out because there's nothing else to do, or he starts drinking. I wasn't 21 at the time, so it was kind of hard to get alcohol, so I started working out again.
Right.
Because I've always been into that, like you said, but when I saw you two release that song, it just clicked in my head. I was like, you know what? You're going to sit here and be a little salty over it. Or you can do what they did and just keep moving. And so that, I believe it was that same fucking night, I ordered a laptop, and then it was in a couple days, and I did my first video.
Yeah.
And it was like, these guys are moving on. They're not holding a chip on their shoulder about it. They meant exactly what they said when they said no hard feelings.
Right.
And you're the one sitting here having hard feelings over what? You knew this was happening, you know?
Yeah.
There's never a relationship where one party's just totally blindsided. Like one person's like, holy shit, it was this bad? I had no idea. Like, that's fucking movie fantasy. Yeah. You always fucking know. Okay, that is movie you fucking know. Like maybe one in like 500,000 relationships are like that, where one person and it's like, I had no idea things were this bad. But that word right there, this bad, you knew it was bad, you know? You always have an idea, so
right.
It's like, you know, but the fact that I knew where it was heading also, and I was happy that, in a way I was relieved, I guess, that somebody else took the initiative to just be like, look, the thing's going nowhere, let's just both go our separate ways. Mm-hmm. But it didn't click in my head to actually go my separate way until you two released that first song, and I went, fuck me. I do need to actually get going again. I need to actually do it. And then I did the first video, and then I think it was shortly thereafter I bought my personal trainer course, and I just got the ball rolling on everything. I said I gotta hit it, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I guess thank you guys for giving me the motivation to do that. And it wasn't a spiteful thing when I saw it. I want that noted. I really wasn't spiteful about it. I wasn't like, these little fuckers think they can keep going without me. I was just like, you know what, man? I just looked at it like an adult. Like I try to do as most things in my life. I'm still a fucking kid at heart, but like I try to do a lot of things. I pay my fucking taxes. Car registration, lights, cable, house, all that shit. I take care of it. I work. I'm at work every day. I've been late twice in 5 years of working. Once at this new job. But I don't miss work, all that stuff. But I looked at it as an adult and I said, you know what a man would do, what a grown-ass person would do, is they would get up and they would say, you know what, these guys moved on. They're not harboring anything. Do this thing. And the fact that I get so much support from you just proves exactly how I felt about it, you know?
Yeah.